Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over some apps you should have on your phone, some websites you should definitely visit, and a business you should definitely utilize if you're planning on coming here to Thailand or if you're already here. Okay, we're going to talk about transportation apps first, because I'm going to assume when you first get here you're not going to have a car or a motorcycle on day one, that you're going to need some sort of form of transportation, for that initial first week or two while you're getting adjusted to everything. So there's actually 3 apps that I would recommend to you. The 3 transportation apps is Grab, which is a good one. It's probably the biggest one here, probably the most expensive as well. There's also Bolt. Bolt is one you can use as well. Sometimes that's kind of hit or miss, and it is a little bit cheaper to use. And then there's InDrive. I didn't even know about InDrive until my son and his fiance were here, and they used this InDrive because they were familiar with it, and they said it was cheaper than the other 2 and worked really well. So keep these 3 apps in mind. One of them should work for you. The next apps I want to talk about are your food apps. Now here in Thailand, delivery fees are ridiculously low. Ridiculously low. So having things delivered to your home is no big deal, and you'll see drivers all over the roads all the time. So it's a widely used service here in Thailand. Now back home in the United States, I don't think we ever had delivery other than pizza delivery that we used. Here we use it all the time. So we're going to go over some of the most popular apps that you should check out. Now keep in mind, some of your favorite restaurants may not use like your favorite app. So the first app we're going to talk about is Grab. Yes, Grab was for transportation. They also have a food application too, where they deliver food. Now, say you have your favorite restaurant and you look for it on the Grab app and you don't find it. Well, now what do? Well, more than likely they're doing delivery, if they do offer that, on another app. So my wife and I found out this the hard way. So we've got several food apps on our phone so we can incorporate all of our favorite restaurants. So the next one I want to talk to you about is Food Panda. This is the one that my wife and I use the most. This is the one that seems to have the most selections in English that we could read. Is it the best? I don't think, maybe, but they've always worked for us, and we've had no problems with them whatsoever. Check that one out. There's also one called Tuk Tuk. Yes, like the famous Tuk Tuk that you would ride around like a taxi, Bugs. And that seems to work for some of the smaller restaurants, especially some of the Western-owned ones. They like to use that. Don't know why, but you might want to put that app on your phone. There's another one that my wife has, I don't, called Meals on Wheels, and some of the most popular restaurants here only use that one. So keep that in mind as well. You may want to download all these to your phone, and that way you have all the restaurants at your fingertips. I almost forgot one. There's one called Lineman. It's also the color green like the Grab drivers' uniforms, but there's one called Lineman. Never used it before. Can't tell you much about it. I know they're everywhere, so if you want to check that out on your own, give it a try. Real quick, before we go on with the rest of the list, I want to do a shout out to Rob, LA Cyclist. He's the first person to buy one of our shirts that we're now showing, and we have a link down in the description, and if you're in the United States, there should be a display right below this video. Anyway, if you haven't checked out our shirts and other merchandise, check it out. Next, let's look at the financial apps that you really want to use while you're here. There's one that you're going to want to use for your money conversions. In other words, after a while, you'll memorize it pretty much. But when you first get here, you want to do everything in the currency from where you came from, but you're still using baht. So let me give you a good currency converter to use. The one we use is called XE. I'm not sure what that stands for. It probably says on the app, but I know it's called XE. It's the one we still have on our phone, and we use it anytime we've got big amounts of money and we're trying to figure out, okay, how much would that be in dollars? But I would definitely suggest putting that on your phone, and yes, it updates. It always knows what the baht to dollar or baht to whatever your currency is ratio is going to be, so it's always updated. Another one is the Wise app. Now the Wise app is one to have when you want to transfer money from your account in your home country and you're wanting to transport it or move it to your Thailand bank account. So that's what Wise is for. Check out Wise, make sure it is available to use with the banks in your country. If you're from the United States, I know it works. Everyone else, I'm not sure. You need to do your own due diligence, and maybe if it isn't there, find another company like them that does the same thing. And hey, if you're from another country and you've already got a place and I have not mentioned it, obviously, leave it down in the description so other people can read it. We really appreciate it. And the other one I would say is if you open an account, a banking account here in Thailand, please download whatever app they have to your phone. You can use it for a lot of different things here in Thailand. It's very useful. Need to have it, so make sure you download that app to your Thailand bank. Now we're going to talk about phone apps. Now, the phone service that we use here, my wife and I, is AIS. They work great for us. There's DTAC, there's a bunch of other phone companies here. I'm not here to tell you which one to choose, but whichever one you do choose, you may want to download their app. Things work a little bit different than they were from the United States, where I had a monthly statement that came in the mail or on my email, and I would pay for my monthly cell phone bill. Here, things are a little bit different. I still haven't quite figured it out. They got different things where you could sign up for a plan, but there's things called topping up, where you can add money to your account to do something with calls. It gets all confusing. But anyway, you can't do any of this stuff unless you download the app to your phone. So before you get too lost when you open up a phone account, make sure whoever you open it up with, download their app and check it out, and do it in the store where they can tell you how to use the app. Now, there is one app that you need to put on your phone almost immediately when you get in Thailand. It's called Line, which to me is the worst name ever, because you go to somebody, hey, are you online? It's confusing. I mean, do you have a Line account and are you on it? So what Line is, it's a way for everyone to communicate here in Thailand without using their phone minutes. So a lot of people like to use this to save money. So make sure you have that Line app, because everyone here is going to be using it. So download, it's free, you don't have to pay for it. And it's an easy way for you to make and receive phone calls and function like a Thai here in Thailand. Now, while we're talking about phones, I'm going to say Google Voice. So if you did what we had in other videos where you went onto Google Voice, opened an account, ported your phone, your old phone from the United States or wherever you can do this from. I just know you can do it from the United States. And all the phone numbers or all the phone calls you would get to your old American phone number get routed through Google Voice, and you get a message on your new phone. So you can either call them back, or you can get the text messages, and you can still do banking with a two-step authentication. All that is with Google Voice. So you definitely want to download the app if you went that route, because by downloading the Google Voice app on your phone, you'll be able to receive those messages and know when somebody called your old number. Now, I got to go over some websites. When you get here, you got to use and bookmark two websites in particular. Lazada. Lazada, I'm going to say it's a lot like Amazon is. It's got everything you need. It gets delivered straight to your door. It's in English. It's fairly easy to use. Not everything's in English, but for the most part, you'll be fine if your browser translates the Thai script for you. But anyway, I almost think it's hard to function here if you don't have Lazada, because there's certain things you want to buy and they're very specific. You have no idea where to find them in the country. Go on Lazada, delivered straight to your front door. So that brings me to the other one, is Shopee. Shopee is basically Lazada's competitor. So give them a try. If you can't find something on Lazada, try Shopee or vice versa. One may have it cheaper than the other. But anyway, those are the two major websites that I would recommend to you. Okay, also for your phone, put on Google Translate, because you're going to be in a scenario where nobody speaks English and you're going to have to use the app Google Translate to communicate or read a sign. Once you download it, play around with it for a while. You'll find out real quick it's not 100% accurate, but it's better than nothing. Now, a business to tell you about, I've mentioned this before in many other videos, iPostal1. It's one of many different companies that do this. It's the one we used in the United States to have all our mail routed to from the United States, goes to iPostal1. So then when we are notified by email, every time we have new mail, they scan it in without opening it. And if we want it opened, we click a button and say we want that opened, and they charge us a small fee to open up the mail and then scan it in, and we can see it instantly. So if it's time sensitive, no problem, we still see it instantly. And we can tell them if it's junk mail, just throw it away, and we're not charged. Now there's an app we have on our phone, I thought it was worth mentioning. It's called 3BB. That's the name of our internet service provider. And the reason it even made the list, I mean, there's many internet service providers, is because we don't get a monthly statement from them in the mail. If we didn't have the app on our phone, we wouldn't know when to pay them or how much. We only find that out through the app. So anytime you're using a service like this where there's a bill that could happen, you may want to download the app because that may be the only way you're going to pay the bill. Now, this may be the quintessential one you need, and that is Google Maps. Google Maps is the best navigation here in Thailand. Yes, Apple Maps works as well. I'm still going to say Google Maps works better. Even the Thais use Google Maps, so definitely have that installed on your phone. Now there's a map called Air Visual, and the reason I would tell you to download this one is for the smoky season. It tells you in an instant, color-coded and everything, what the air quality is like right then when you pull up the app. So you can always know what it is where you're at or anywhere else here in Thailand. Definitely worth downloading during the smoky season. Also, make sure you have a VPN, and that's a virtual private network. We use one by Nord. It's fine. There's others out there. I'm not saying you got to use Nord, but there's advantages to having that. Let's say you're using Netflix. Netflix is going to detect that you're in Thailand, and it's not going to show you some shows that you would see from your home country. But if you're on a VPN, you're fooling the system to think you're in whatever country you put in the VPN that you're in. You could put in that you're in America, you're in Cambodia, and so on. So it's a way to fool the server to make things work online better for you. And it also helps with banking. A lot of times when we go on our banking site, we're going to use the VPN. It's for our protection, so nobody else can steal our information. So it really helps with that. That's probably the main reason people buy it, but it also makes the bank server think we're still in the US. And last but not least, for those of you who want to learn Thai, there is an amazing app. Is it an expensive app? It's $25 for the app, and it is called Talking Thai. This is a fantastic app for you to use. If you're going to learn Thai, you've got to have this app. You will thank me later. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. There's a link in the description. Also, right below this, you'll see a thanks button. You can contribute to the channel that way. Also, join us on Patreon if you want to donate to the channel on a monthly basis. We sure would appreciate it. And don't forget about our shirts and merchandise that we're selling on our site. Link down in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, Khap Kun Khap.